Ready? Okay, we're starting at 6:30. Roll call.
Binder. Gary Casper.
Here.
Daniel Miller. Here. Shirley Seeley.
Here.
Pamela Stillwell-Binder.
Here.
Ian Rudnick. Carl Miller.
Here.
Jennifer Miller.
Here.
Henry Horning. Penny Jermaine.
Here.
Okay. Business.
Ian Clinton.
You're at the right place.
Normally, we don't get this kind of turnout.
Welcome. Okay, we got a full house. The approval of the agenda, motion?
I'll second it.
Motion by, oh, you guys are gonna trick me up already. B. Binder, supported by P. Stillwell-Binder.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, how about the approval of, motion for the approval of the minutes, June 16th?
Support.
Motion by B. Binder, supported by C. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I was abstaining.
Okay, number 4, correspondence. A, 171 East Huron Avenue update.
In your packet is a letter that was sent to the building code official regarding zoning approval for the proposed apartments at 171 East Huron Avenue on the second story. We also have a copy of the revised drawings, which is dated June 21st, 2014, which corrects the issue with apartment number 7.
Turn that office in there, the bedroom into an office.
Correct.
Objection to that?
And now they're all in compliance with their zoning code.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay, good. That's the one over the June.
correct.
So they're all set now on their zoning?
In regards to zoning, yes.
Okay.
Not correct, zoning, not building.
So the building's pending.
It's not under our authority, it's with the building code official in Carroll.
So we're okay so far as this.
Yes.
Any other questions on that? No. Okay, how about number B, letter B, Cass River Berm.
No, site plan.
Excuse me. I was, site plan, wrong B. Landscaping wall, parking lot / landscaping wall at 119 Washington Street, First Presbyterian Church.
This is in regards to, there was a question proposed regarding the retention wall. If a retention wall is 4 feet or under for the building code official, there's a building permit is not required, so that structure was not exceeding 4 feet. As a result, the necessary permit requests were submitted, and then also it states in here about the zoning permit issued to Timber Oaks that was issued by staff also, so we're in compliance regarding that property too. We need a motion to accept
Okay,
correspondence.
any motion to accept this correspondence?
Motion by Rudnick, supported by Jermaine, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, we're down to public comments.
Mr. Casper, before you go to public
Could I, as a board member, make a comment?
Sure.
I noticed in the advertiser last week, there was a statement that the planning commission and the city council may have had some behind closed door meetings. And the comment was a very poor response I thought from our city manager, that his comment was not to my knowledge. Now, Mr. Barrett, you were hired to keep the council and all the boards on track. That would mean no closure to meetings, that would be, those would be illegal, and you would have known about that, because they would have been here. And no one did anything behind any closed doors, to, nothing wrong. And I feel that as the city manager, it was your responsibility to let people know more than what you did. That, especially when it came up to this ordinance, it would have been nice if you had been more responsive by saying, no, there was no closed doors, and that it would have been nice if you had let people know how this all came about, changing this ordinance. This ordinance was changed because of Mr. Castor needing it to be changed. It went to you, and then it went to this board, and then this board did it with the attorneys in review, and it was sent to the council. It had nothing to do with Pioneer Webinar. And I really feel that it should have been put out there, especially by you, that this had to do with the fact that these buildings in the business district, that like the rental that Mr. Casper has on Main and Oak, or some of the other buildings down there owned by other people, had been told that there was a possible chance that their insurance could be canceled. If they had a claim for some reason, they could be denied. It was told at this board that there was also a chance they could not remortgage anything, possibly sell it, because people could not get a mortgage unless it was a cash sale. So it would have been, I feel that it would be, had been your responsibility as the city manager to set some of this straight, and you didn't. And I feel that in one aspect, you were fueling the fire instead of putting the fire out. And I know this is just my opinion, nobody else's, but I felt that you did a disrespect to this board and to the council and to the city by not standing up and letting these people know these things and why this ordinance was being worked on. That's my piece, and thank you for letting me say that.
Well, I'd like to respond in regards to Mr. Gilchrist's article. I don't control what he prints, and I'm not gonna throw Mr. Gilchrist under the bus, but I also had an article done by Saginaw News through Lindsay. I also had an article done by NBC 25, which they did recordings. I took the time to supply the information to Mr. Gilchrist regarding the more specific information regarding the minutes. He chose not to pick them up. I made arrangements in regards to that aspect. In regards to meetings held, we have multiple meetings held, and in regards to a majority of planning commissions meeting somewhere, I don't know in regards to that, and surely in regards to meetings and such, yes, in regards to City Hall, I know if meetings are held here or not. In regards to other activities and such, I don't know that, and in regards to that comment, it's a comment put in the newspaper. Because they don't write everything verbatim.
No, they don't, and I know that.
I'd like to make one comment. At the special meeting we had last Monday, it was brought up at that time, and actually, the city manager spelled out what the ordinance, he actually read what the ordinance was that night, that clear, because that question, where you're saying, what was the ordinance about? The one lady that was there took it upon herself, because she made a comment that afternoon on the news that it was a secret meeting, we were changing the ordinance. She was right there, heard the whole thing, so again, it's how they say it and how they twist it, how it's written.
Thank you for letting me make comments.
Okay. Any other comments on the comments? No?
Would we like to, on public comment, put a time limit on these?
Yeah, that's a good idea. We were thinking of discussing that earlier.
I would make a motion to limit say 2 minutes for the public to make comment.
I'll second that.
Okay, I only need one. Okay, motion by C, supported by C. Miller to limit public comment to 2 minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And we're open for public comments. Yes.
Just for my sanity, there is a sign-up sheet in the back, so if you could, just write your name, if it's before or after public comment, so we get everybody's names spelled correctly for the minutes. I'd appreciate it.
For those that don't know me, so you may do. My name is Michael Kleinsmith. I live at 6630 Washburn Road. I'm speaking for myself, but I am the Vassar Township clerk, and what's going on here could affect me. It's not often that we have something that can affect us not only at the local level, but at the national level. That's part of the issue of what's going on here. I'm just going to talk about one aspect of this now is that there's been reports in the paper that what's happening to these people after they come to this facility is that they're being released to the public with their families. And I think that's one big concern that hasn't been mentioned a whole lot, but that's one of the biggest concerns that we have, is that people that are being treated at this facility, after they are processed, they're going to be released to their families in the country. And I'm worried about what if these families start gravitating to Vassar. You have to think about the numbers that are going to happen here. They can have 60 people at one particular time, but that could come somewhere near 1,000 people per year. So if 1,000 of these illegals come to the city and are being processed, and then are being released to the general community at a rate of about 1,000 a year, in 3 years, this location could be outnumbered by illegals compared to residents. I think that's a concern that we have to take very seriously. I think that this is a change of use that's going on, that this needs to be reviewed, and they need some sort of permit or documentation from the city to be able to do something like this. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to speak to you, and I think that this is a great, that's why everyone's here, because it's just such an important issue, and we want to protect American citizens in the city of Vassar. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Betty Humling, 128 Prospect Street, Vassar, Michigan. Normally, the people at city council see me a little bit here and there, but I couldn't wait that long. And I had to write this down because I didn't want to get tongue-tied when I say this. If you Google Vassar, Michigan, you will learn that Vassar is a city in Tuscola County in the United States of Michigan. You'll discover that it was founded March 1st, 1849, by 4 men who were led by James M. Edmonds and Townsend North in search of an area to build a dam and start a city. The city was named after Edmonds' uncle, Matthew Vassar, who later founded Vassar College. You will continue to read about the geography, demographics, education, etc. However, what you will miss is the essence of Vassar. Vassar is a city which has survived through many adversities, probably the most memorable of which is the flooding of the Cass River and Mort Drain. The citizens of Vassar work tirelessly as necessity dictates to ensure that our businesses and families have the best possible outcome in any crisis situation. So proud of them. As one can imagine, in a small city, firemen, police, and EMT workers are often called upon to rescue friends and family. Don't think that our political differences will abolish the underlying fact that we care about one another. There are citizens that spend untold volunteer hours, elected officials, and city administrators as well, who work to ensure that our community thrives in an otherwise hostile economic climate. I personally am outraged that individuals would enter our city with the intent to destroy our citizens and our businesses. The recent assault on Vassar True Value and its employees is unacceptable. It's unbelievable that an organization and the individual that leads that organization would place such a low value on our city and its residents. The owner of Vassar True Value has a family, as do the employees. It perplexes me. Am I 2 minutes?
Yes.
I'll give her my time.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
I'm almost done. It perplexes me how a person can wave the American flag and say that they uphold the Constitution of the United States and literally try to destroy the livelihood of citizens of that country simply because they do not agree with their opinion on a particular subject. It is sickening. I do not believe that anything for a news story, whether it is truth or not, flies in the face of the citizens of Vassar. We should not tolerate this antagonistic, malicious, and hateful behavior in our community. I would ask that this planning commission, our other boards and commissions, council, both governmental and community and civic organizations, continue undeterred on the path that they have had in the past and represent the best interests of our city, our residents, and our businesses. Thank you.
Thank you.
My daughters and my grandson live in Vassar, so I do have a connection to Vassar. I brought copies for everybody.
Excuse me,
And yes,
we ask your name.
I'm Tamara Murray. Tamara Murray. I brought these old booklets for your reference. I'm representing. I have a list back there. The citizens that have signed on under the MICE umbrella represents a group from Vassar to inform and begin process of initiative and referendum. Because more Americans have access to initiative and referendum in their local government as opposed to state government, they believe this is the best course of action. The citizens want to make sure entrepreneurs seeking to open business in the city are lawful and true American citizens. To protect the safety of the citizens, to guard the resources of the city and the state, and protect said resources from being used unlawfully. This is a formal statement to the Planning Commission in reference to Ordinance 86.522. The drafting of the ordinance initiative would be referred to Ordinance 86.523. The petition and collection of signatures refers to Section 4.25, and I have all this for you. And I will turn in the list of names also. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to make sure I can have it. Is there not?
I don't know what that's different. Okay, wait a second. You guys have to go into the same thing.
Are we continuing? One moment.
There's a,
What, is this one case? Just,
no, okay, and then that's all we have with that one. Here, pass the rest around. There's only a few copies of it.
okay. All right, continue, please. Your name, sir?
Hello, my name is Lou Smallwood. I live at 1003 Day Road, Vassar 48768. I just want to talk for a second about reminding this group that the purpose of any organization, governmental body, the primary purpose is to ensure or protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens in that community. It has been reported by Wolverine Human Services that the 60 to 120 illegal aliens who are, they would like to transport to Vassar will be immunized once they get to Vassar. That presents a direct threat to the health of the people of our community. These people are going to be transported. We don't know what types of diseases they may have, and if they are infectious, and we will not know that until they arrive. That, as I said, is a direct risk to the health of the people in this community. Also, from a safety standpoint, the Wolverine Human Services facility is not secure enough to ensure that the people who are deposited there will remain there and not just up and walk off into the community at their own will. There's no way to ensure that those people will be retained in there and not enter the community. That's all I have to say. I just wanted to remind you of your duty of protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the people of the community.
My name is Roger Lish. I went to school in St. Michael's and then to Vassar High School, graduated from Vassar High School. This topic is not about the children. It is a wedge that we use children to drive a wedge between those who are God-fearing, law-abiding, and law-abiding Americans. This issue is about law and order. This issue is about the federal government forcing its will on the common people, not just in this community, but everywhere else in the country. We have a runaway federal government who cares nothing about the people except taking more of our money, taking more of our rights, and dangling a carrot in front of Wolverine Services, which I would believe it would be a huge carrot. Everybody knows there's nothing like having a contract with the government, the United States government. They take big money. I'm asking that the committee and the city of Vassar initiate a law motion to stop this. There's no reason for this. I know the money's there, and everybody's looking forward to that, but we will lose in the long run. This is, once again, about law and order, and our federal government does not obey its own laws. Thank you.
Any more?
My name is Anna Kleinsmith. I live at 6630 Washburn Road, Vassar, Michigan, which is in Vassar Township, where we share some services with the city, such as we donate $1,500 to the park. We share the fire department, and but I come as a private citizen. And the question I have is about the zoning. Under section 86-536, which is a site plan review, quote, all districts, unquote, be amended to read as follow, and it's A3. Any change in use, whether or not there isn't a physical change to the structure, would require site plan approval if the property is owned in an OSB 1, B2, I1, or I2 district. The question I have is, and because this is a planning meeting, the industrial park over there is zoned, and it will take educational and correctional. And I understand that's what Wolverine does, but when you research this, what they are proposing is a resettlement camp. Resettlement camp is a little bit different than just educational or correctional, because it is a resettlement camp to prepare individuals to be resettled, where it's not what I believe their original permit was requested for, and I'm not sure. I had a Freedom of Information request for the original 1988 application, and I'm not sure if you've located that. But that is my question with your zoning, because zoning is so important, is that this really would be described as a resettlement camp. Good luck, and God be with you.
Thank you. Any others?